No, you not can do. Because you not can do 1 minute.
So I think of the fight. Getting dropped, once again, it's not the end of the world. People get dropped in fights and still win them. Getting dropped in sparring is what it is. I mean, just
Duke McKenzie has gone straight for the jugular, calling out Jake Paul after that brutal sparring knockout that has now taken over the internet. Within minutes, the clip exploded, online memes everywhere, fans roasting Jake Paul nonstop. What should have been private training has now become a viral humiliation reel. The pressure is on, and even before fight night, Jake Paul is being picked apart. Duke labels him a soft, safe opponent of promoters' easy payday, and the viral knockout has sparked chaos, debates, trolling, and non-stop breakdowns. Jake Paul's weaknesses are now public, undeniable, and impossible to hide. Eddie Hearn gives credit where it's due, but doesn't sugarcoat reality. He admits Jake Paul has talent, but the sparring session shows there was no real competitiveness. The knockout clip has only magnified McKenzie's attack, and now every detail of Jake's training is being dissected online. The pressure is building fast, and the fight hasn't even started.
He's a soft touch. He's waiting to get knocked out. So the promoter says to himself, right, he scratches his head and says, you know what, I need to get my fighter a couple of easy ones just to get his confidence back, so he can bring him back to the fore, bring him back to everybody's imagination. Everybody sees him knocking somebody out, looking good doing it. So this guy's made for Anthony Joshua. It'll be another Ngannou early night for Joshua.
So you have to give him credit, and I'm a big fan. I don't want to. When I watched it back, I saw a few people. Oh, Eddie's a hater. I'm not a hater. I think he's the goods, but I don't think that was competitive last night.
Derek Chisora exposes Jake Paul before the lights even turn on. The sparring knockout wasn't just embarrassing, it was a flashing danger sign. His movement, defense, and mental toughness were tested, and he came up short. Against someone like Anthony Joshua, these cracks could become catastrophic.
In his sparring camp, I personally don't believe that you can actually... The sparring partners he's got right now, they're pushing him to be... Man.
Johnny Nelson spots another major issue: Jake Paul's legs are already giving out. The sparring clip makes that clear. If he can't stay balanced under pressure now, facing an elite heavyweight could be a disaster. Joshua will exploit that weakness instantly, turning the fight into a one-sided showcase before it even begins.
And I said, look, if you're to believe that he had the best training camp, his legs have gone. And if I've got it wrong...
Shannon Briggs explains that mistakes happen in training, but the knockout puts a spotlight on something deeper. Jake's balance, composure, and defensive reactions look unpolished and exposed. Facing a machine like Joshua, who thrives on pressure, could turn those flaws into a rapid collapse. This isn't a small training slip, it's a warning.
Hearing things that he'd been dropped in the ring and in the gym and stuff like that, but that's okay too, because I took a couple spills, little slips in the ring and the gym. That's okay, but we're gonna see. This is gonna be a good.
Derek Chisora keeps it raw. Jake Paul doesn't have the firepower to hurt Joshua, and the sparring footage proves it. The hype disappears the moment the real fight starts. Jake's lack of high-level experience and defensive holes make this matchup look extremely one-sided on paper.
Be exciting.
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
Nah, he hasn't got the power to knock out Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul going in an ambulance, bro.
Simon Jordan highlights the absurdity of the situation. A sparring knockout already paints a brutal picture, and stepping in with a real heavyweight champion is a massive leap. Conditioning, power, resilience, the gaps are massive, and the hype is starting to crumble under the weight of reality.
Off there, but Jake Paul going into a fight with Anthony Joshua, to me, is absurd. I mean, Anthony Joshua is a legitimate two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He may have got destroyed by Daniel Dubois, but notwithstanding, there's nothing physically wrong with Anthony Joshua that he can't execute. Mentally, he might be in a little bit of a difficult position.
Duke McKenzie strips it down with brutal honesty. Jake Paul may see a massive payday, but the risks are far greater than the money. His defense, timing, and durability have already shown cracks. Joshua's experience and knockout power could turn this fight into a nightmare within seconds. This isn't about YouTube success, it's about surviving a fighter built for destruction.
If he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat, you take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's #1 contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua seriously hurts this guy, and puts this guy...
Tommy Fury doesn't hold back. The sparring knockout revealed everything: Jake Paul's timing, defense, and reactions aren't anywhere near the level needed to stand in front of someone like Anthony Joshua. Fury believes even at half strength, Joshua could dismantle Paul in minutes. The knockout footage acts like a pre-fight warning siren. This could end shockingly fast.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute.
Eddie Hearn sends a professional warning grounded in reality. Jake Paul is jumping from social media stardom to the deep end of elite heavyweight boxing. Joshua's power, accuracy, and experience don't forgive technical flaws. The sparring knockout exposed gaps that could turn into serious risks the moment the bell rings. This isn't online entertainment, this is real danger.
But I said to Jake Paul, you ain't in a box, mate, and this ain't David Blaine. I said, so just be careful, because AJ will take your head clean off your shoulders, and it's dangerous. And you take on that responsibility, and we all have to, so we got to think about that. But this is Anthony fighting a top 50 cruiserweight in the world. It's not something that we would normally do. But
Logan Paul's reaction drives home the truth. Watching what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou shows the level of destruction Jake is heading toward. The sparring knockout proved Jake isn't ready to take shots from elite heavyweights. Fame, confidence, and social media numbers won't protect him inside the ropes. This could go from spotlight to disaster in seconds.
What thing is crazy?
Is that a real conversation?
Jake's a fucking lunatic, and it's probably real. I saw Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou, and the guy was like out cold for 5 minutes. And this is a guy who had never been knocked down, let alone knocked out.
If he steps in the ring with him, and actually a bell rings and there are punches thrown, every bit of Jake Paul is not a real boxer conversation is gone forever.
Derek Chisora drops the final hammer. Jake Paul's flaws have already been exposed. And against a fighter with Joshua's experience and power, there is no margin for error. If the fight goes more than a couple of rounds, it risks turning into a public embarrassment. Joshua's history of brutal knockouts suggests that Paul simply cannot survive sustained pressure.
Let's say Anthony, as I listen, I tell you what, I say to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's going to be having a go at you, because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. It has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, people are going to be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia.
Of course, it's all fucking, it's a dangerous fight, but I'm not here to be there selling their show. I've got no interest in the fighters from that perspective. I just think that he is a licensed boxer. He trains. He knows what he's getting involved with. He's not an idiot. And he knows what he's going to be up against.
Anthony Joshua, it's not like he's beaten, 4 or 5, top line heavyweights, other heavyweights. I don't believe he's boxing.
This is not hype, this is real physical consequence. Fans are already going wild over the sparring clip shock, memes, discussions, breakdowns. And it all points to one thing. This fight is no longer just entertainment. It is a real test of survival, skill, and credibility. If you want more breakdowns, inside footage, and brutal truth about the biggest fights in the world, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a knockout update.